When Karoline Leavitt appeared on Stephen Colbert's show, viewers expected a typical light-hearted political segment. Colbert is known for his blend of sharp political humor and entertainment, often skewering guests with biting satire. But that night, the air was different. From the moment Karoline stepped on stage, the atmosphere grew tense. Colbert opened the interview with a smirk and a question layered in sarcasm. "So, Karoline, when did you decide that facts were optional in politics?" The audience laughed, but Karoline didn't. She sat up straight and responded with measured calm. "I deal in facts, Stephen. Perhaps you're confusing facts with narratives." The audience's laughter faded into murmurs. Something was different. She wasn't here to be mocked. Colbert, not used to being checked so early in an interview, tried to regain the upper hand. "Well, let's talk about your belief that the media is biased," he said, leaning forward. "You're on my show, which is part of the media. Are you saying we're all biased?" Karoline smiled, her posture unshaken. "Bias isn't about who you are, Stephen. It's about how you present the information. Sitting in a studio doesn't absolve anyone of selective storytelling." Her words hung in the air like a challenge. Colbert blinked, then let out a chuckle, trying to brush it off. Trying to steer the conversation toward humor again, Colbert quipped, "I suppose you think the moon landing was fake too?" Some in the audience laughed. Karoline, unamused, responded firmly, "Mocking legitimate concerns by equating them with conspiracy theories is exactly the deflection tactic people are tired of." Her directness surprised the room. Colbert's grin tightened. He was dealing with someone who had come prepared not just for laughs, but for a duel of principles. Colbert shifted tactics. "Your party says it values free speech, but doesn't it seem like that only applies when you're the ones speaking?" Karoline responded without missing a beat. "Free speech isn't about comfort, Stephen. It's about allowing all voices, even those you disagree with, to speak freely, including me, on your show tonight." That answer triggered a mixture of claps and stunned silence. Colbert wasn't losing the crowd, but he wasn't winning them either. As the interview continued, Colbert posed a question meant to corner her. "You talk about protecting democracy, but how does questioning elections help that cause?" Karoline looked at him intently. "Questioning isn't destroying, it's strengthening. Scrutiny ensures integrity. Wouldn't you agree, as someone who questions institutions for a living?" The audience murmured again. She had flipped the premise of his question on its head. Colbert, visibly trying to reassert control, said, "Isn't there a danger in sowing doubt without evidence?" Karoline nodded. "There is, which is why we must differentiate between honest inquiry and reckless speculation. I stand for the former." "Do you?" The subtle challenge in her voice echoed across the studio. Colbert paused. The conversation was turning more intense than he'd planned. He tried to lighten the moment. Okay, so you're the voice of reason now?" He laughed. Karoline didn't take the bait. "I'm a voice for people who feel unheard. Reason doesn't belong to one ideology." The strength in her voice, matched with the clarity of her words, left a mark. Even the laughter in the room had grown hesitant. The audience was listening more than laughing now. Colbert asked, "You were the youngest press secretary in Congress. How does that experience prepare you to debate someone like me?" Karoline answered, "I wasn't trained to spar with comedians. I was trained to communicate under pressure." "You're good at jokes." "I'm here for truth." That answer struck a chord. Colbert smiled, but it was tight. The usual rhythm of his segments was slipping from his grasp. He switched the topic. "Your views on immigration have stirred controversy. Don't you think we should be more compassionate?" Karoline didn't hesitate. "Compassion and security aren't enemies. A country without borders loses identity. But compassion means creating legal, fair pathways, not chaos." The audience nodded. Her message was clear and calmly delivered. Even as the topic got hotter, Colbert attempted sarcasm again. "And I suppose you believe every undocumented person is a criminal?" Karoline replied evenly, "No, but I believe laws matter. And the moment we start picking and choosing which laws to follow based on feelings, we lose order. Compassion isn't lawlessness." The silence was more pronounced now. Viewers at home could likely feel it too. Trying one more push, Colbert asked, So what is it you're really trying to achieve coming on shows like this? Karoline looked him square in the eye. To show that voices like mine aren't caricatures. That we can sit across from those who disagree and still speak with strength, not hate. Isn't that what democracy is about? Colbert, perhaps for the first time, nodded slowly. I admit, he said, you're more composed than most guests I try to rattle. Karoline smiled lightly. That's because I'm not here to win laughs. I'm here to win back dialogue. The crowd clapped this time, genuinely. Even Colbert looked impressed. The conversation had taken a powerful turn. There were no raised voices, no storm-outs. Just words, traded with conviction. Colbert finally leaned back, almost relaxed. Well, Karoline, you held your ground, she responded, and I thank you for the space to do so. If we had more of these exchanges, maybe people would feel less divided. He nodded again, and the tone shifted from conflict to mutual recognition. Not agreement, but something close to understanding. After the segment aired, social media erupted. Clips of the exchange were shared across platforms, with viewers praising Karoline's composure and clarity. Some criticized Colbert for trying to corner her. Others applauded the rare, honest conversation. But nearly everyone agreed, Karoline had left a mark. News outlets picked up the story. Headlines read, Karoline Leavitt stuns late night, and Colbert meets his match. Pundits from both sides weighed in. Some admired her courage. Others called her too polished. But the takeaway was clear, or she didn't back down. In a world of scripted interviews and pre-planned soundbites, Karoline's presence felt real. Colbert, in later episodes, joked lightly about the interview. Note to self, he said with a smile, when inviting guests, check if they come with rhetorical body armor. The audience laughed, but there was a note of respect beneath it. Karoline had changed something. The show wasn't just entertainment that night. It was a moment. In the weeks that followed, Karoline continued to gain visibility. More interviews, more speeches, but none as impactful as that evening with Colbert. Not because she won a debate, but because she reminded viewers that being young doesn't mean being unprepared. That disagreement doesn't mean disrespect. And that sometimes, strength isn't in shouting, but in standing still while the storm tries to shake you.